What's going on, everybody? This is Mortym, and today I'm going to talk about ESO's live episode that happened today, actually, 7-8. Now, what they talked about mostly was the second dungeon for Shadows of the Hist, which is Cradle of Shadows. Then they did a short Ask Us Anything, as well as talked about the racial passive changes, which are the bulk of this patch, minus the two dungeons. Now, the actual dungeon itself was pretty cool. I mean, there's not a lot to say about it. I mean, it's a new dungeon. What do you expect? That said, the one notable thing that I wanted to mention was they actually added in a new model type, as well as just an enemy type in general. It's called like a Horror Daedra or something like that. I could be butchering that name. I didn't quite hear them exactly. It was, I don't know, it was just hard to make it out. But that said, it was pretty cool. It's a big spider Daedra. It's one of Mephalah's lieutenants, if you will. And it's going to bring in some interesting mechanics. I thought that part of the dungeon was cool. The rest of it was, you know, standard, this is a new dungeon stuff. So I wasn't super impressed, I guess, is the best way to put that. Now, for the Ask Us Anything, they pulled a bunch of questions from forums, Reddit, Twitter, that kind of stuff. And I'm going to go over a few of the ones I thought were interesting. Most of them were just forgettable nonsense questions. However, one of the things they want to do in the future is adding movable character slots to the character selection screen, so you could like move your list of characters up and down by like priority or however you decide to play them or something like that. They want to look into doing that. They're probably going to do a gear manager sometime in the future. They gave like 0 specifics as to the when and where, probably, if I had to guess, next year. I wouldn't imagine that would be anytime soon, but it is something they're wanting to add just because as you switch roles and stuff, which it's very easy to do in ESO, you have to switch all that gear over, so they're wanting to add something in to make that a little more manageable rather than having to just carry it all. Now, for PvP, somebody asked when they were going to be adding like battlegrounds and stuff like that, and dueling and battlegrounds is actually slated for next year. That is something is definitely happening next year. Your resource bars, they're wanting to make those just having an option to have them on all the time, and for whatever reason they actually already have that planned out for next year as well, is what they said. Those were just the answers to questions I thought were interesting. They asked a few more. If you want to see them all, you'd have to go check it out. This is just a recap. What do you want from me? Now, from there they went on to talk about the racial passives, and I did a video discussing pretty much all of those already. I just want to talk about the quick changes they mentioned. So, from where they've been testing this on the PTS and everything, the big public outcry, and factually as the numbers did, Khajiit were pretty much already topping your stamina DPS numbers. If you want to build a stamina person, Khajiit's the way to go just because of that 8% weapon crit and everything. And one of the changes is that the Khajiit were getting 6% max stamina with this change, but because of the way the PTS has rolled out and seeing how it actually does, your stamina gets insane. I've actually looked at it a little myself. With the best of the best gear, you're pushing like 30k plus stamina with that, and it's just kind of ridiculous. So they decided to actually just take that out. All the other Khajiit changes are still happening. They're just, rather than the 6% max stamina, they're actually going back to it and just giving you the health regen that was there to begin with. So they kind of ex-nayed the 6% on the Khajiit. And the other big change was Argonians. They had changed the healing received into healing done. And because they were getting so much feedback one way or the other, they actually decided to just do both at a slightly less percentage. So what they're planning on doing and rolling it out on the PTS next week is that the Argonians will be getting healing received and healing done buff by 5%. Now the interesting thing there is those numbers actually stack on yourself. So if you're an Argonian and you're healing yourself, it's actually 10% because you're doing 5% more healing as well as taking an extra 5% healing to yourself. So that passive stacks on you. And I thought that was pretty cool. So there it is. That's most of what they talked about. If you want anything more in depth than that, you would have to actually go watch the episode because, once again, this is a recap, and that is kind of the point. Now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this informative. If you did, I certainly hope you subscribe, but other than that, have a great day.